Pragmatic dimension, speech acts, and translation from Group 5. There are Novitalia Nasari, Septia Enda Dwi Sulastri, and Santi Soliha. And this video was created by us. Definition: Pragmatic is a study which belief is what is communicated is more than what is said. The utterances that the speakers produce in communication contain deeper sense than the actual meaning of the words or phrase themselves. Yule, 1996, states that pragmatic has consequently more to do with the analysis of what people mean by their utterances than what the words or phrases in those utterances might mean by themselves. Speech acts. Speech act is a part of pragmatics where there are certain aims beyond the word or phrase when a speaker says something. Speech acts are acts that refer to the performed by produced utterances. Type of speech acts. There are three types of speech acts. First, locutionary, second, illocutionary, and third, perlocutionary. Locutionary speech act is broadly equivalent to uttering certain utterance with certain sense and reference, which again is broadly equivalent to meaning in traditional sense. Austin. In line with this, Cutting 2002 states that locutionary is what is said, also proposed by Yule 1996, who states that locutionary act is the act of producing meaningful utterance. The example of the locutionary speech act can be seen in the following sentences. First, it's so dark in this room. Second, the box is heavy. The above two sentences represent the actual condition. The first sentence refers to the lighting of the room, and the second sentence refers to the weight of the box. Illocutionary. The illocutionary is performed via the communicative force of an utterance, such as promising, apologizing, offering. Yule 1996. This act is also called the act of doing something and saying something. The most significant level of action in a speech act is the illocutionary act because the force which has been desired by the speakers determines this act. Illocutionary act can be the real description of interaction condition. For example, first, it's so dark in this room. Second, the box is heavy. Based on the example above, the first sentence shows a request to switch the light. On the second sentence shows request to lift up the box. Perlocutionary. Harvard and Hazley 1983-150 states that perlocutionary act is the act that is carried by a speaker when making an utterance causes a certain effect on the hearer and others. Perlocutionary act is also the act offering someone. Perlocutionary act refers to the effect the utterance has on the talk or action of the other person. For example, first, it is so dark in this room. Second, the box is heavy. Based on the example, it can be inferred that first sentence is uttered by someone while switching the light on, and the second sentence is done by someone while lifting up the box.
Oke, Classification of speech acts. Speech acts can be classified into 5 categories as Shirley in Levinson states that the classification are representatives, directives, commissives, expansive, and declaration. A. Representatives are speech acts that the utterance commit the speaker to the truth of the expressed proposition. The utterance are produced based on the speaker's observation of certain things, then followed by stating the facts of opinion based on the observation. When someone says she's beautiful, the speaker can state the sentence based on the facts or just give his or her own opinion about physical condition of a person. Representatives speech acts can be noted by some speech acts verbs such as remind, tell, assert, deny, correct, state, guess, predict, report, describe, inform, insist, assert, agree, claim, believe, conclude. And next B, directives. Directives are speech acts that speaker use to get someone else to do something. These speech acts include requesting, questioning, command, order, and suggesting. For example, when someone says, "Could you lend me a pencil, please?" the utterance reference the speaker request that the hearer to do something, which is to lend him a pencil. C. Commissive. Commissives are speech acts that the utterance commit the speaker to some future course of action, this including promising, threatening, offering, refusal, pledges. For example, when someone says "I'll be back," represent the speaker's promise that he or she will be back. And the expressives. Expressives are speech acts that the utterance express a psychological state. These speech acts include thanking, apologizing, welcoming, and congratulation. For example, when someone says, "Don't be shy, my home is your home," the utterance represents the speaker's expression that he or she welcomes someone. And E. Declaration. Declaration are speech acts that the utterance effects immediate change in the intentional state of a person and which tenderly and elaborate extra-linguistic institution. These speech acts include a communicating, declarative word, clustering, freeing from employment. For example, "You are dead to me." And next, speech acts in second language. Something that works in English might not transfer in meaning when translated into the second language. For example, the following remarks, as uttered by a native English speaker, could easily be misinterpreted by a native Chinese hearer. Sarah: "I could agree with you more." Cheng: Thinking she could agree with me. I thought she liked my idea. Or Carla: "In order to grasp the message of utterance, one needs to factor in context when the words are uttered." Thank you.
Hymns 1974 propose the speaking model of speech analysis. According to Hymns, in order to speak a language correctly, one does not only need to learn its vocabulary and grammar, but also the context in which words are used. In the speaking model, aspects of the linguistic situation are considered and applied to various components of a discourse, sample, or a communicated message. Speaking model of speech analysis HIMSS. 1. S. Setting and scene. The setting refers to the time and place while scene describe the environment of the situation or type of activity, or classroom, bar, coffee shop, morning, friendly conversation. 2. P. Participant. This refers to who involved in the speech, including the speaker and the audience, interviewer, caller, performer. 3. Ends. The purpose and goals of the speech along with my outcomes, function, or effects of the speech. 4. Act sequence. The order of events that took place during the speech, including form and the content. 5. K. The overall K, tone, mood, or manner of the speech, serious, sarcastic, formal. 6. Instrumentalities. The form and style of the speech being given a channel, verbal, non-verbal, face-to-face, telephone, SMS, code, emoticon, dialect, or language variety. 7. Norms. Defines what is socially acceptable at the event, the rules that govern interaction and interpretation. G. Genre. The type of speech that is being given, greeting, joke, apology, lecture. And the next, translation. Definition. Translation as a communicative act involves interpretation made by the translator which takes the context of the target text reader and his knowledge into consideration. The translator interpretation is made in such a way which is deemed relevant to target reader in the sense that the target reader can understand something from the utterance translated by translator in accordance relevant theory. And text and translation. Within the sphere of translation, the pragmatic theory can never operate without a text act theory, as both translators and theorists are required to find and fully comprehend and intended effects of original text and target text so as to recreate, discuss, and analyze them. If the translator plans to reproduce a target text in the target language in exactly the same way as the source text is written, keeping intact all the linguistic and cultural obstacles, he or she should, in this case, reproduce a text rather than mere text. Both illocutionary and perlocutionary effects should be kept intact in both theory and practice. Illocutionary force found in the source text rather than the writer's intention are more crucial than the text perlocutionary effects. Context. What the translator as a text producer is required to do is to strike a balance between new, evokes, as well as inferable entities to the point that the combination of this enables the hearer or reader to draw the appropriate inference intended by the speaker or writer. This balance is properly maintained through the principle of effectiveness, which mainly is in accomplishing maximum convenience of participants, the detail or fulfillment of communication objective. and efficiency, which primarily resides in achieving the task in question with minimum effort external. Next, optimal relevance. Optimal relevance helps let the receiver to interpret and understand the context of a particular utterance intended by the speaker. It enables the recipient to make appropriate expectation with regard to the possible access to the contextual detail required for correct interpretation. He or she therefore starts the process of interpretation with the use of the detailed option. The recipient will make the assumption that when he combines the detail he has obtained with the appropriate contextual information, the utterance in question will, with no doubt, offer the interpretation whose processing has required certain effort to be exerted. And then relevance theory and language as. According to relevance theory, there exists two distinct as of language: descriptive use as well as interpretive use. A descriptive as of a language utterance is achieved when the utterance is viewed as a true utterance somewhere in the world. An example of this as is the sentence, Peter, Robert has joined an MA program in translation studies. On the other hand, an interpretive as of a language utterance is accomplished when the utterance stands or represents a particular person's word. Okay, then the last pragmatic aspect of translation. A crucial aspect of translation is directly related to context. A single utterance may relay opposite interpretation on the basis of the context in which it is placed. In other words, the speaker intended interpretation of a particular utterance is wholly contingent upon context. This aspect of context dependence is owing to the fact that human communication is naturally inferential. A change in the context of particular text will ipso facto give rise to a change in the whole meaning of that very text. At times, the translation process may involve the situation where the translator renders a culture-specific text in such a way that suits the cultural expectation of the reader, of the target reader, and at the same time runs contrary to the way adopted in the source text by the original writer. Following this huge cultural amendment in the translated text by the translator would make him or her quit the author of context, or create with good term secondary communication situation. Indeed, the translator is faced with two options and needs to opt for one of them. He or she either transfer the context of the source text to the target reader as it is, a context which may look alien to the receiver. Okay, thank you guys.